80,000 screaming fans, 2 billion people watching at home, the biggest trophy in sports, and right beneath their feet, buried in the mud and concrete, might just be the most notorious crime secret in American history. On July 19, 2026, the FIFA World Cup final will kick off at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It's the undisputed crown jewel of global sports. But while the world prepares to focus on Messi, Mbappe, or Bellingham, almost no one realizes they are stepping onto cursed ground. A stadium that cost $1.6 billion to build holds a terrifying reputation for destroying elite athletes, and sits directly on top of a toxic, notorious mafia dumping ground. You are about to look at the 2026 World Cup final in a completely different and deeply disturbing light. Let's start with the dirt. Literally, MetLife Stadium wasn't built on a pristine, sunny piece of prime real estate. It was dropped right into the middle of the New Jersey Meadowlands. For decades, this massive, murky, chemical-filled swamp was the ultimate playground for the East Coast mob. It was the perfect, desolate place to make things disappear. The dark legend of Jimmy Hoffa, the wildly powerful union boss who vanished without a trace in 1975, has haunted this exact plot of land for half a century. Urban legend famously dictated that he was buried beneath the end zone of the old Giants Stadium, which sat quite literally right next door. When they finally demolished that old stadium to build the billion-dollar MetLife behemoth, the FBI actually had agents closely watching the wrecking balls, hoping a skull or a gold watch would tumble out of the crushed concrete. They didn't find him, but historians, true crime experts, and locals will all tell you the same chilling fact. The Meadowlands is a graveyard. Countless secrets are still swallowed up in that mud. And now, the greatest football players on earth are flying in to dance right on top of it. But you don't actually need to dig into the muddy past to find the curse of this stadium. You just have to look down at the turf. Ask any professional NFL player about MetLife Stadium, and you won't hear stories about glory or triumph. You'll hear about absolute terror. The stadium uses a highly controversial artificial surface that has snapped Achilles tendons, shredded ACLs, and abruptly ended multi-million-dollar careers in a fraction of a terrifying second. Aaron Rodgers, Yellen Phillips, Nick Bosa, all legendary players, all brutal victims of the MetLife monster. The turf is so globally infamous, the players' union literally begged the league to rip it out. They call it a concrete carpet. It's an unnatural, unforgiving surface that aggressively grips a player's cleats and outright refuses to let go. It tears the delicate human knee to shreds, while the foot remains violently planted in the plastic ground. It is an orthopedist's worst nightmare. Now, imagine the greatest soccer players alive. Men whose entire livelihoods, whose national pride, depend on the precise, lightning-fast movements of their feet. They are going to play the single most important match of their entire lives on a surface universally known as the career killer. Of course, FIFA isn't entirely stupid. They strictly demanded real, natural grass for the World Cup, so the billionaire stadium owners are currently spending a fortune to install a temporary natural grass pitch directly over the artificial turf, just for this 1-month tournament. Problem solved, right? Wrong. Growing natural grass inside a massive, towering concrete bowl that was explicitly designed for artificial turf, right in the sweltering, suffocating heat of a New Jersey July, is a biological nightmare. When you lay shallow trays of grass over hard concrete, the roots cannot dig deep into the earth. The surface shifts, it slides under pressure, it dies quickly. In 1994, when they tried this exact same temporary grass trick in a nearby indoor stadium, The turf literally broke apart in massive, dangerous chunks during the games. Now picture a high-speed, do-or-die counterattack. In the 90th minute of the World Cup final, the score is tied. A player cuts incredibly hard to shoot the game-winning goal. The shallow, unrooted grass violently gives way beneath his boots. The knee buckles. A legendary career abruptly ends. A nation's ultimate dream dies in the mud. All because the organizers decided to put the biggest sporting event in human history in a billion-dollar swamp that aggressively hates the people who play on it. We built a towering monument to global sports on a toxic graveyard of mob secrets, covered it in a synthetic trap that snaps bones, and then invited the entire world to watch the carnage. The 2026 World Cup final isn't just a highly anticipated football match, it's a dangerous gamble against the cursed ground itself. And sooner or later, the turf always collects its debts. If the sheer insanity of this billion-dollar stadium blew your mind, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment below and tell me who you genuinely think survives the gauntlet to make it to the 2026 final. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss the dark side of the sports world.